My name is Michael Gardiner, and in today's video, we're going to talk about why your cold emails don't work and how to fix them. Now, before we get into it, go ahead and hit that like button and leave a comment. It helps massively for YouTube algorithm, helps more people find this information so they can have their cold email problems fixed. We won't want them out there stranded, struggling with cold emails, so go ahead, be a gentleman, leave a like. All right, now getting into it. So if you have looked up on YouTube, why cold emails don't work? Why don't my cold emails work? The first thing you may be wondering is, do cold emails work? Well, I can answer that question. Yes, I have generated tens of thousands, and if you count my clients, hundreds of thousands of dollars now from cold email alone. Cold email works really well. And I can actually answer, when will cold email stop working? Well, when email is irrelevant. Do you check your email every day? Does your mom check her email every day? Does your boss check her email every day? Does your virtual assistant check her email every day? If not every day, probably 2-3 times a week. So email is not going anywhere soon. Cold email works. You just need to know how to do it properly. So what I want to do in today's video is, instead of listing every variable, potential reason your emails may not work, I want to actually ask you a question. Are you testing and actually listening and measuring the results and making changes based off those tests? Now, what I see most commonly is that people, and again, I find this hilarious, marketers, people who do testing for a living, they write a cold email, they send it, and then they just keep sending it. That's it. Maybe they do a test, but do they really measure? Normally, no. So what I want to emphasize here is cold emails. They're a marketing campaign. Treat them that way. You don't run Facebook ads and just choose an ad and stick to it. You test the copy. You test the headline. You test the product, the discount, the targeting. Is it a cold audience retargeting? Is it a lookalike? You need to treat your cold email campaigns like a marketing campaign, because they are. So you might be asking, Michael, okay, I get it. I need to test. What do I test? Fantastic question. So these are the things that I test on cold emails. Now, there are 6 things. I'm going to read them from my computer. I have them in a document that I reference whenever I'm running cold email campaigns. The industry and sub-niche. For example, let's pretend you have an SEO agency. Industry might be if you're going after plumbers or locksmiths or veterinarians. Let's say you're in e-commerce. You would test the sub-niche. Are you going after clothing companies, makeup accessories, mountain bikes, or whatever else? So industry and sub-niche is one thing I like to test. And by the way, these are in no particular order. Second thing is subject line. If you're not getting enough opens on your emails, then you're just missing out a ton. So watch my other video on subject lines. Copy length. How long is your copy? Is it short and friendly to the point, or is it long and drawn out and elaborate? Both work, but are you testing which one works better to your specific industry? For example, if you are emailing plumbers, they do not care that you have pretty copywriting. They don't. If you're reaching out to e-commerce stores, they might care a little bit more. So copy length is important. Next is the source. Where are you getting your leads? Are you finding them from podcasts or interview websites, top 10 lists? Are you finding them from Groupon, Yelp, Google, Instagram, scrapers? Testing your source, because source is actually a huge part of it. Next, your call to action. Are you offering a video audit? Are you offering a free checklist? Are you going straight to the call, a free trial? Are you just not having any direct call to action? Customization. Are you personalizing them? Sometimes you need to, sometimes you don't. So those are the 6 things I like to test. And ultimately, if you're not testing these, you'll never have an ultimate cold email, because you just don't know. So now that you're testing, what sample size should you test per variable? And keep in mind, if we test all these variables at once, we won't have clear data. So you want to test one variable at a time. And I typically do a sample size of 50 to 75 emails per test. So what benchmarks should you be looking for on these tests? You should be looking for an open rate of 60 to 80%, a response rate of 10 to 30%, and a booked meeting rate of 1 to 5%. At the end of the day, the main metric that matters when it comes to making money is booked meeting. Now, responses and open are definitely important. If you don't have a lot of opens, you're missing out on eyeballs to look at your emails. If you don't have a lot of responses, then your copy is probably not great. But at the end of the day, booked meetings are what matters. So that is the ultimate metric. So what would I do next if my cold email's stuck and I want to make them better? I would use a proven subject line. That way the testing's out of the way. Then you can test the subject line later on when your campaigns are working, but you want them to be better. Name, quick question. Super easy one. Then I would go and write 4 different types of copy. I would try some short copy, some long copy, a funny copy, maybe one other one. Just be creative. Send 50 of each of those, so 200 emails, and then choose the winner. Choose the winner, and then take that winner, and I would go ahead and then test industries and sub-niche. Again, choose 4, 50 of each, and then after that, I would go and test the call to action. And I would just keep going through these testing checklists and keep making it better and better and better. So ultimately, cold emails work. The question is, are you willing to take the time to test and spend the money to test and just the effort to test to make them work for you? So go out there, do some testing. Cold emails work. They can work for you. It's not an overnight thing. Trust me, it took me quite a while to get my cold emails working, and you will get better, so your tests become more educated. But even me, I send a lot of cold emails, and I still do testing. So don't get discouraged and keep at it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and comment if you have any questions.